Here's a song that I wrote yesterday for a little piece of amazing heroism that you've been looking at over and over on the TV. Out there in the Hudson River, just off Manhattan. If you were in one of those tall buildings in Manhattan and you were looking off to the west, you saw something you'll remember for the rest of your life. His name was Chesley B. Sullenberger III, which for a pilot is somewhat absurd. A pilot's name should be Buzz, Bill, or Chuck, but a name like Chesley may mean good luck. He was flying an Airbus out of New York when at 3,000 feet the engine lost torque. His voice was calm as he sent out the word, Chesley B. Sullenberger III. No time to maneuver or head for New Jersey. The force of gravity shows us no mercy, and there was the river stretching for miles. So he said to his co-pilot, Jeffrey Skiles, we'll put it down here, don't look at those maps. Bring the landing gear up and extend the flaps. And the flight attendants prepared themselves, Donna Dent, SHEILA DAIL, and DOREEN WELSH. The city spread out below their feet, and he landed at the foot of 48th Street. On the Hudson River he landed that bird, Chesley B. Sullenberger III. The plane did not sink, it lay on the river, and all aboard were safely delivered. It could have been tragic, but no deaths occurred, thanks to Chesley B. Sullenberger III. The next time you fly, look in the cockpit where the captain and first officer sit, ready to take you up and onward like Chesley B. Sullenberger III. Take you across the country for miles with officers like Jeffrey Skiles and attendants who in crisis won't fail, Donna Dent, Doreen Welsh, and SHEILA DAIL. Hope they're all warm at last after their adventure in the Hudson River.
Cactus 1539 hit birds through lost thrust on both engines returning back towards LaGuardia.
Okay, you need to return to LaGuardia. Turn left heading up.
No, 1 operator 2194. I'm witnessing the airplane is going down. It's off fire.
It's 1529. Turn right 280. You can land runway 1 at Teterboro.
We can't do it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
We're going to be in the Hudson.
I'm sorry, say again, Cactus?
I think he said he was going in the Hudson.
We had a Cactus Airbus go down in the water. Get me a police department helicopter right now.
It was a scene witnessed by thousands of stunned New Yorkers.
911 operator, we have emergency. A plane had just crashed into the Hudson River. Oh my gosh.
Good afternoon. I'm Charles Gibson at ABC News headquarters in New York. There is an airplane down in the Hudson River right off Manhattan.
The temperatures in New York City are absolutely frigid.
Moments after the rescue, we spoke with cold and shaken survivors.
I just kept saying, relax, relax, women and children first, and then it just started filling with water.
And we're now learning that some of the crew didn't know they'd landed on water until they opened the doors, that the impact was so hard, it tore a hole in the back of the plane.
The job of evacuating 150 passengers fell to 5 of the most experienced pilots and flight attendants in the business.
Of course, the other heroes of the story, the 3 flight attendants, more than 92 years of experience between these 3, ordering passengers to brace, heads down, evacuating every man, woman, child on board in just 90 seconds. They are here as well. As we said, it's indeed a very special morning for all of us.
And we will talk.
Since the moment we learned everybody on board was safe, the crew members of U.S. Airways Flight 1549 have been hailed as heroes.
Our next guests were also vitally instrumental in saving the lives of all 155 people on board. Please welcome three more heroes, the flight attendants from U.S. Airways Flight 1549, Doreen Welsh, Donna Dent, and SHEILA DAIL. Kids, come on out. Go, standing O.
There was a loud thump that you felt, and Donna and I are sitting. There's a bulkhead that, you know, the passengers aren't right there in front of us, and it became very quiet. And I turned to Donna and I said, "What was that?" And she said, "I believe it was a bird strike."
You knew that, Donna?
I thought that perhaps it was.
Had you been hit by birds before?
Yes.
Really?
Not to this extent, but yes, sir.
A minute, but I'd like to start with you, Doreen, and if you could just tell me what it was like being back there and knowing what you had to tell all of the passengers about what was happening.
Well, no one really knew. I mean, I've been flying long enough to know that something definitely happened, but I assumed that an engine went out and we were circling back to go back to LaGuardia and land, which, you know, we've all been through a million times. Not a million, but a lot. A common, not uncommon for a flight crew. And that's what I assumed, and I got up just to calm some people down and check things out because there was the smell from the birds, and then heard the brace for impact.
We began yelling, "Brace, brace, heads down, stay down. Brace, brace, heads down, stay down."
That's the worst thing to hear for a flight attendant, isn't it, SHEILA?
Mm-hmm.
You're trained for it, right?
Yeah, but then once you hear it, you just go into automatic mode because we practice this on a yearly basis. And, you know, I've practiced it for 28 years and 38 years, and so it comes automatic.
They were chanting it in unison over and over again to the passengers to warn them and instruct them. And I felt very comforted by that. I knew immediately that they were on the same page, that if I could land the airplane, that they could get them out safely.
So what was the first thing you heard from the cockpit?
Brace for impact.
Brace for impact. Now, ever hear that before coming out of a cockpit?
No, not ever.
Ever hear that in any other aspect of your lives? I don't know. I don't know. They take this show away from me. But brace for impact is something you've trained for. You know what that means. And so then what do? You start screaming, brace, brace, brace. Is that what happens? Yeah. And did the passengers know how to respond to that?
Mine did, which was, you know, I had the rowdy group earlier, but they did know how to respond.
Right.
Because they were all in there. So somebody read their card or did something.
What is it about... Boy, and people will be reading that in the event of a water landing card now, like it's the Old Testament, won't they? But what is it about your group? I'm getting the sense that you had the problem kids back there. What?
Well, the back of the airplane was always more active and fun. I don't know. They got on first. They were resting. You know how? Remember years ago, whenever the smoking section was back there, they put those little signs. Front half was quiet, and everybody else was having drinks and cigarettes. They were all crazy. It's still like that without the smoking.
Well, that's great.
Let's talk about the moment of impact. Doreen, you were sitting in the back of the plane. What was the impact like there?
The back of the plane hit first, correct? It was violent. Horrible. Things flew out.
Meanwhile, at the front of the plane, what was it like there?
We were thinking that wasn't so bad.
I mean, it was a hard impact, and I thought, well, the gear must not have been down because there was no bounce to it. It was just a slam.
So the plane finally stops. And what was it, chaos? Was it calm in the back of the plane?
A combination of both. I think everyone was in shock. I mean, because it happened so fast. From the time Sully said brace for impact to he said evacuate, evacuate, it seemed like 30 minutes first and then 3 seconds. I mean, it's just so surreal.
So now you're in the water and you have to get everyone out. How do you do it, Sheila?
Well, you go to your door and you assess outside to make sure it would be safe to open the door. And once you realize it is safe, a safe exit, you open your door and command people come this way, don life vest and come this way, leave belongings.
And that's pretty much how it happened, orderly.
Yeah, it was very orderly.
In the back of the cabin, one woman ran up and opened the back door.
So she came flying, pushed me past me, and just started grabbing at that door crazy. She said, open the door, open the door. I had no idea we were in water, so I was like, whoa. Shock, the biggest shock I've ever had in my life, I think. By the time I left there, my entire uniform was wet.
And when you finally headed up, were you walking or swimming?
You know, there's a few minutes there where I don't know. It's the craziest I've ever gone in my life.
Was it orderly at the front of the plane? How were the passengers reacting? Was there any panic or was it all calm?
People were just one by one going off in a row and with their seat cushions or their life vest and just getting into the raft, and it was very orderly.
And then one guy comes up to somebody in their underwear. Who was the guy that came up?
I don't know who he was.
Yeah.
Bless his heart, he thought he was going to have to swim, so he took off his clothes.
That's me. That would have been me.
We invited some of the passengers to reunite with them in Charlotte, North Carolina, the city that was supposed to be the final destination for Flight 1549.
Please welcome the crew of U.S. Airways Flight 1549, who helped safely rescue 150 passengers on New York's Hudson River last month.
Well, that must have been nice, huh?
Super doesn't do it justice.
Personally, but I think that I'd look at things differently now.
Yeah, how would you look at them differently?
I'm happy for the things that I have, very grateful for the life that I have, feel very blessed.
Something remarkable did happen that day, and we were in a good place where there was a lot of help. But I think as time goes by, I realize how many things went right.
It was one of those feel-good moments.
Yeah.
Like at the end of a great movie.
Right.
The next time you fly, look in the cockpit where the captain and first officer sit, ready to take you up and onward like Chesley B. Sullenberger III. Take you across the country for miles with officers like Jeffrey Skiles and attendants who in crisis won't fail, Donna Dent, Doreen Welsh, and SHEILA DAIL. Hope they're all warm at last after their adventure in the Hudson River.